displaying the glory of God's creation by exploring America one park at a time. Welcome to Parking Full Time with Big Dave, the parks professor. 10th hole. The par and distance are at the top of the screen. This is one of my favorite short holes on this course. It's fairly tight, it's a slight dogleg left, and it plays across a small swale. There's also a wooden retaining wall about 25 feet short of the basket, so you can't try to roll or bounce your disc up to the basket. There are several of these type of walls on this course, and I like them. They're a nice, clever little addition that causes you to invoke some strategy on this hole. There's the 10th basket, and there's the view back to the tee. The 11th hole is another fairly tight hole. It plays gradually downhill off of the tee, and then plays gradually uphill to the basket. It's also a dogleg right. This hole also has two baskets, like the 6th hole we saw on the front nine, and the 13th hole, which we're going to see in a couple of minutes. I do want to welcome you back to Parking Full Time. I am Big Dave, the parks professor. We are at Reedy Creek Park. We are on the east side of Charlotte, North Carolina. In fact, this is one of the oldest disc golf courses in Charlotte. This basket you see off to the right here, that's the white basket, that's the short basket. And we're going to keep walking past that. And now it gets really tight here as we head gradually uphill to get to the long basket. If you play to the long basket, this is actually the longest hole on this course. A lot of the holes on this course are only in the 200 to 300 foot range, especially if you play from the original tees, which are the shorter of the two tees. So it's nice to have a longer hole like this once in a while. The 12th hole is a short uphill hole. There's only one really tight spot, and it's the spot you see coming up here. That's about 50 feet short of the basket. And so if you can manage to get it through this almost picket fence of trees here, then you should be able to get up close to the basket and get a birdie opportunity on this hole. This is a nice hole after the really long hole that we just had. There's the 12th basket. And there's the view back to the tee from behind the basket. Hole number 13 is another long hole. It's gradually uphill, and it's a sweeping dogleg to the right. It's somewhat tight, but not as tight as some of the other holes on this course. I mentioned before that this is one of the oldest courses in Charlotte. Of the two distances I'm giving you at the top of the screen, in general the shorter distance is the distance from the original tees. A few years ago they went in here and did a redesign and added another set of tees called the stout tees, which in general are longer than the original tees. And that's the longer of the two distances that I'm giving you at the top of the screen. That's the distance from the stout tees. This redesign really did wonders for this course. It really reinvigorated a classic course that had kind of fallen out of favor just due to the fact that the game had changed because discs got better and people got better at throwing them. This is the long basket. We passed the short basket a little ways back, and this is the last hole with two baskets on it. Hole number 14 starts out in an open mowed grass area, but as you would expect for this course, it's not going to stay there long. We're going to head into the woods, and then head moderately downhill and curve somewhat to the right here. I did see several walkers in this area, and so you do have to check for pedestrians before you throw on this hole. Also, there is another wooden retaining wall off to the left and long of this basket, and so you don't want to miss there. You want to make your miss to the short and to the right in order to best use the slope to bring it into the basket. There's the 14th basket and the view back to the tee. The 15th hole plays persistently and moderately downhill, and it is a sweeping dogleg left. This course never really breaks out into the open, but this fairway is wider than some of the other fairways on this course. and that extra width in the fairway is appreciated because it helps you maneuver your disc around the dogleg here. I captured this video on Thursday, November the 9th, and it was a beautiful fall day with temperatures in the upper 60s when I came here. You can see the fall leaf color out here, and I really enjoyed being out here on this course on this day. There's the 15th basket, again, very nice and about as open as you get on this course hole here. There's the view back uphill to the tee. The tee shot on the 16th hole plays over this bench and garbage can. It's a little strange to throw your disc over a bench like that, but that's actually a relic from the redesign. That bench was there to serve the original tee back before the redesign, and they just left it there when they added the stout tee. This hole plays moderately uphill, and in fact these three holes, 15, 16, and 17, play a little bit like spaghetti, just straight up and down the same hill. Again, this fairway is rather wide. There's one tight spot about 80 feet in front of the stout tees, but other than that, there's plenty of room to maneuver a disc here, and this really is a pretty gentle and easy hole. As I mentioned, the 17th hole plays back downhill, parallel to the two previous holes, and in fact, this hole is very similar to hole number 15, except this hole has a sharper dogleg. I do want to take this opportunity to thank you for watching. Parking full time would not be anything without the people who watch. I realize that every day, and I thank you every day. Again, this fairway is really pretty wide, especially for this course, and also for a hole of this length. And that extra width in the fairway really helps you to maneuver your disc around the dogleg. That plus the fact that this hole is downhill means that this isn't nearly as hard of a hole as the distances would indicate. There's the 17th basket, and there's the view back to the tee. The 18th and final hole plays gradually downhill, and it's also a slight dogleg right. There are a few tight gaps between the trees here, but overall the fairway is fairly generous. I also want to remind you that I do not make any monetary compensation for anything that I do for this project. I took a vow to do that many years ago, and I have held to that vow. And so all I get for doing these videos are your likes, your subscribes, your views, and your comments, and I do appreciate all of those things. Overall, this is a very nice course. It's a nice bit of history here, being one of the oldest courses in Charlotte, and especially with the redesign, it really has held up pretty well over the test of time. If you like short wooded courses, as I like short wooded courses, then you'll really like this course. I also like the course route here. The front 9 and back 9 are separated by the park entrance road, and I didn't have any confusion in terms of finding the next tee, and I really enjoyed playing here. That is the end of the course. Have a great afternoon, take care, and Lord bless.